traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.
Recently, Sheikh Yasir Qadi expressed that, oh well, Islamic tradition has mess and holes, and there are pressing questions which they cannot answer when it comes to the Quran, which is the holy book of Muslims and eternal word of Allah. Preservation of the Quran is messy, have lots of holes, black holes or Swedish cheese, whatever you would say, there are holes in it. And then, of course, he expressed that actually we don't know if that is the Quran which was read in the time of Muhammad in Medina, when he was asked what he would write down into blank paper if he needed to write the Quran. Of course, after that, Islamic Dawah team felt it was their responsibility to save the Ummah. It was their responsibility to save the Quran. Of course, when Allah and Muhammad cannot and doesn't even bother to save the Quran and Ummah, Islamic Dawah team takes a step to save the Ummah and the Quran. Let's hear from Adnan Rashid how many deception he's gonna use to save the Ummah. He's gonna talk about Birmingham folios, which is by carbon dating. It's been dated 568 and 600 to 645. I'm sure you already heard the dates and you're already thinking that is the miracle of Islam. Miracle of Islam is Allah revealed the Quran to Muhammad 2 years before Muhammad was born. Or another miracle of Islam, Allah revealed the Quran to Muhammad 42 years before he received his revelation. Or another miracle of Islam is carbon dating simply shows us, if that is the Quran Adnan Rashid is talking about, carbon dating shows us traditional account is not reliable. Let's hear from Adnan Rashid.
Of his companions. So now it is clear that it is one of the oldest copies of the Quran in the world, which dates back to the 1st century of Islam when the Prophet and his companions were alive. So let's read from it.
Yes,
let's read from a copy of the Quran from the 1st century and see how similar it is to my copy in my hand today, printed in Saudi Arabia today. Okay, so here we have the text on the screen.
Just before you do this, Adnan Bhai, let me just make sure that brothers and sisters, just two things. I know we're not addressing your questions as we go along because I don't want to lose the flow of where this discussion is going, because it's very important to clarify these points and ensure that they come across in a very clear and methodological sort of structure. So we're going to address your questions at the end of what needs to be discussed. And secondly, please, if you haven't already, make sure to share this with everyone on your social media links. Just copy the link and share it so other people can benefit from this too, inshallah. So Adnan Bhai.
So Adnan Rashid is going to read it from Birmingham folios and comparing that with the Quran. That's what we are going to focus. But I just wanted to bring side attention when other guy, whoever that guy is, something Imran Hussein, when he says share this video, they want everyone to know. They're lying. Why they are lying? Because when you share the video, when I share the video, they claimed copyright. So apparently you can't share the video. You can only share the video if you are Muslim and if you are going to deceive Muslims. If you are one of them, please continue to share. But if you are Christian who are sharing the video in the intention of questioning it, that means there is a copyright. You cannot share it. Adnan Rashid is going to read Birmingham folio from Birmingham folios and then stated it is the same with the 1924 Quran. Let's just turn back to him.
Pass it back over to you. And
okay, I want you to take the cursor from word to word. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I hope you can read this ancient Arabic. I can, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the Arabic of the Prophet and his companions. Not that it is different to what we read in the Quran today, but the reason why I said that is because this is the script the Prophet's companions used to write the Quran. I repeat, this is the exact script that was used by the companions of the Prophet to write the Quran, and this copy is from their times. It has been radiocarbon dated to their time. So let's read it from the very first verse. Okay, this is the beginning of Surah Taha, by the way. Okay, Surah Taha is Surah 20. Surah Taha is chapter 20 of the Quran.
So that is this script which was put together in the first century of Islam, and today's script which Muslims are reading is very much different. Why? Because now Arabic has been fully formed with the dots, with all the dots for consonantal letters and dot for vowels, and those small dots just change the meaning of the word, all those kind of things, but that's not a big deal. It's just the eternal word of Allah going to change the meaning of the word. Adnan Rashid is gonna read it. Let me put that once again.
It reads as follow. I'm gonna read the parchment from my laptop screen, which is in front of me right now, because I cannot see the screen on my phone, which is very, very small.
Yeah, so
so I'm going to read the same. Okay, so if you follow with the cursor, please start with Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, Taha. Taha. Okay, this is exactly what is written in my modern copy here. It is in front of me. I'm doing a comparison word by word.
And
word by word. Yes.
Why you guys through?
So, Adnan Rashid is doing comparison word by word from 1924 Quran and the folio which is dated according to Adnan in the time of Muhammad and his companions. That is already miracle. So Adnan is gonna read that. It's all together just over 10 minutes, but apparently they are very sensitive. I don't think I will be playing whole video, but let me just make some points. First of all, if you can see Adnan's body language, you can simply see he's reading from 1924 Quran, because this wonderful Muslim missionary doesn't look like he's able to read it from the Quran which he's presenting. Reason for that is very, very simple. Let me just put, so as Adnan reads through and then goes through those verses, one of the things we are going to notice is when it comes to verse 2 of Surah 20, Adnan is going to read that as distressed, that you may be distressed. But because in the time of Muhammad they didn't have the dots, in the time of first couple of caliphs they didn't have the dots, because of that word can simply be read as healed, but Adnan chooses to read it as distressed. Why? Because he's reading from 1924 Quran. Example 2, so verse 4, Adnan chooses to read it as created the heavens and the earths and heavens, but actually that word can be created, can also be read left behind, because it doesn't have the dots. If you just add the dots to the consonant, make to consonantal letters, it can be read as left behind, and it makes perfect sense. Adnan chooses to read it as the created. Why? Because he is reading from 1924 Quran. Verse 20, Adnan chooses to read it as the throne, but from that word you can simply think that is actually wedding feast. Why Adnan chooses to read as the throne? Because he reads from 1924 Quran. Example 4, verse 6. Adnan reads the verse 6 as under soil, but also that can be used as carve soil. Why Adnan chooses to read under soil? Why? Because he reads from 1924 Quran, third of the best of deceivers. Verse 7, Adnan chooses to read the verse as the secret. Why? Because he reads from 1924 version of the Quran. That word can be simply read as the evil. He knows evil and makes one go barefoot. But Adnan chooses to read it. He knows secret and what is hidden. Why Adnan is not reading as the evil and makes one go barefoot? Why? Because he's deceiving people and he's reading from 1924 Quran. Verse 9, Adnan reads that as the story, yet that word can also be read as the draw. And it makes perfect sense where Moses reached. Why Adnan reads that as a story? Because he reads from 1924 Quran and he chooses to deceive Muslims. And if you look at the manuscripts, just look at the manuscripts. Adnan himself said that there wasn't dots in the time of Muhammad. It's supposed to be just the razms. But some words in this folio contains dots. How come dots end up that early, Adnan? I know my question is not going to be answered, but anyway. In verse 10, Adnan reads it as he said, but that word can be simply read so say. It does change the meaning of the sentence. Adnan, third best of the deceivers. And you've got the same thing for rest of verse 10. Adnan Rashid makes a claim that he's able to read the manuscript, he's able to read the folio which is written down in the time of Muhammad. But the issue is he uses 1924 Quran as the guideline. He's not able to read them. I gave you more than 5 examples. Just one word. I didn't even do that much work on it. It's just like Arabic speaker looks at it. Oh yeah, I can read this word in this way and it makes sense. He uses 1924 Quran as a guideline and then pretends that he reads Muhammad's Quran, which is only 65 verses. Exactly the same. What a shame. Such a liar, such a deceiver. Muslim people, wake up. Muslim people, wake up. You are being deceived not only by Allah, not only by Muhammad, but 21st century Muslim missionaries alongside of your imams, your sheikhs. I think Yasir Qadri will finish with this as saying, preservation of the Quran has holes. There is a lying going on in the Dawah team when it comes to the preservation of the Quran. People, wake up, because you have been just lied to by so-called Islamic Dawah team Adnan Rashid once again.
These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being raised. Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.